Hey everyone, I'm back with another home studio update. So yeah, a couple big things happened. The Big 6 is gone and the API box has arrived. Really cool upgrade for the studio. Met a really great guy who was in New York, and he actually drove this thing up here, or I should say down here, to Tennessee next day, which was unheard of. Incredible. Really great guy. As you can see, channel 3 is out. It's getting repaired right now. That was the only thing, but it should be back any day now. And other than that, it's fantastic. I've been looking at these things for quite some time. Just never thought it was something attainable, but ended up working out a great trade with this gentleman for the big 6 and some other gear, and this is now the new centerpiece here in the home rig. When I'm not at schematic, I could still work here and have yeah, plenty to work with. I'm very happy. I could get by with this just being the studio alone, to be honest with you. Anyways, I've filmed a really well-spoken, well-documented full tour of this new setup I have, but the microphone wasn't on the camera. Fantastic. So here we are. I'm doing it again, and it'll be a little more lax. And I'm just going to do a one take, quick run through of some of the configuration, how I have all this stuff rigged up, and kind of just a more efficient layout that I figured out over the past year of fiddling around with this room. This is my bedroom. The bed is over here, but let's focus on the studio stuff, shall we? I will start from back here. Entering the room, I made a keyboard land. It was all over there, and it was just way too cluttered. I didn't have any room to move. When I was playing guitar over there, I would turn around and bump into and the headstock would bump into one of the keyboards. It was an accident waiting to happen. So there was a blue couch in here, which I did not need. So it's gone. I needed this space right here. So anyways, what we have over here is the Mellotron Micro. I should have powered this stuff on. And we have the Ableton Push 2 controller, a couple Roland Boutiques, the SH-01A and the Juno, being controlled by this Arturia. This is the, let me get out of the light here, Keylab Essential 61. And that is controlling my soft synths. And again, the Roland Boutiques with just some MIDI cables, nice and easy. There is also a hub right here where those are all being plugged into and fed all the way over there to the computer. One cord, love it. The newest edition, the Prophet Rev 2, which I am over the moon about. The thing is packed with so many sounds that I really dig. And creating patches is really fun on this thing. We got pedals. There's the bass rig. There's the main guitar rig. You can see that. And kind of a satellite board that I could use on its own or in front of the other board because it has some envelope stuff, pitch shifting, tuning in general, drop tuning there, and one of my favorite pedals of all time, the ring mod from Moog. And this Honeybee is so slept on. That is one of the best pedals I've ever had. So that board will be by itself again, or fed into the Get It Done studio rig, which has all my other favorites. The newest thing on here that I will give a shout out is the Yesterday Effects Peach Fuzz. It's kind of the Frantone thing. I really like how this thing responds, and the string articulation still there with all the grit, and you can clean it up or you can get really fuzzy. It's so versatile. So here is keyboard land. Voila! So these cables are all running to a submixer, which is this guy, the Mackie Onyx 1640i. So I have the synthesizers and the drum machines all being fed to this, so that it only takes up one stereo pair on the API. Don't have to eat up the whole thing, which is great. I will get over to the drum machines now. Okay, here we are in drum machine world, which is really only two drum machines, to be honest with you. I really only use these two. It's the CR8000, and then we got the RD8, which is the Behringer 808. It does the trick for me just fine. If I ever get a real one, that would be great, but this thing is getting the job done for me. So while we're over here, I will run you through some of the fun things. Let's get a full scope here. Let's get the lay of the land. All right, keyboards are over here. Again, feeding the submixer. Submixer is feeding 2 channels on the API. We got a drum kit right here. We got the guitar rig, which I will go through in just a second. And the drum machines, some pedals. This is a parallel pedal land. I'm using this LS2 right here to blend the love tones in this MXR and the Shields blender in the FM4. So I can get some really, really, really interesting creative sounds with that rig. I like a lot of chaotic guitar stuff sometimes, so that is really great for that. But up here I also have the pedal synths. So this is like a send and return using the radial, make you guys dizzy, I'm sorry, I did not plan this out well, EXTC reamp system. It's a great DI for running out of a console or out of your interface into pedals and back. Basically takes line level, converts it to instrument, and then back again. So these are the pedals. I can change them out really easily and not have to change anything on the actual rig, which is great. So there's some pedals there. These are like all in the way in stuff, and then I could pull any of those off and put them up there for sort of auxiliary synths on the console. So I have those right there, and there's the Mackie. Basically that's just keyboards and drum machines, and then effects, that is going to be these bad boys. The Filter Factory, the MoFX, and the Lexicon PCM80. So they're all just chained together, and I can bypass which ones I'm not using, or I can use all three at the same time. We have the Cranbourne 500 ADAT, got some 542s, the SSL G-Comp, 2 Pultecs, and the Shadow Hills dual Vandegraaff. I use those ADAT in Luna when I'm mixing or printing tracks with processing, but then I also have all of these chained up together in a certain order on the program bus insert on the API. So my mix down chain will be mix out into 2 channels in the API, and that'll hit the 542 tape machine first, then the G-Comp, then the Pultecs, and then it will hit the Fusion. And on the Fusion's insert, I have the Shadow Hills as kind of the final little bit of polish, a little bit of weight, just grabbing those last few transients that might want to pop out a little too much. It's not really compressing too much, just kind of adding this really nice final touch. Some weight, some iron, if you will, and sounds fantastic. It just fills it out. We have the SSL ecosystem stuff here. We got the UF8, there's the UF8, the UF1 and the UC1, because I do use the SSL 360 software and kind of mix in a virtual SSL environment, and then I spit stuff out into the real world here. I do mix in Luna. I do pretty much everything in Luna, and everything in there is set up like an API too, so I'm not tied to the SSL thing necessarily. I can kind of pick and choose depending on whatever artist I'm working with. If I want to do all API vibe, I got it in the box and out of the box, which is a really, really fun combo. But if I want to do the SSL, like precision mixing stuff and spit it out into here, it's also a great combination of things. So really happy with the flexibility and how easy it is to navigate everything here. Got the computer off to the side. I mainly mix with headphones, so I'm not mixing in mono, as in my right ear only. Like a lot of guys will sit here facing this way and mix with the speakers coming out one ear, which doesn't make any sense. But I get it. Having this off to the side is out of the way and nice, but it doesn't matter because I'm wearing headphones when I'm mixing. I've gotten used to it. With this room not being perfect, these speakers are mainly for playback and sort of enjoying music more than precision mixing. I am very much used to these speakers. These are the Cali LP6, but I do always mix with headphones when I'm home. If I'm up at Schematic, we have the focals and it's a treated room. I will mix on the focals, but here I've gotten used to my Beyer DT770s. Okay, Guitar Land, Fender, Blackface. I think this is a 66. Focus. There we go. 66 Champ with the brown box, so I make sure it's getting fed the voltage that it likes. I would take this thing up to the studio and use my high watt with the brown box too, because the high watt is my baby and I must protect her at all costs. We have a fantastic little trio of 500 stuff here in this lunchbox. The Harrison 32C Plus Pre and their, what is that called? MR3 EQ and their compressor. They just came out with channel strips for the 32C about a couple weeks ago. Would love to get my hands on one of those eventually. We have the Rupert Neve Stereo DI here. I'm using that with these little amps in the box. So I got a Vox here and the Lion, which is like their Marshall. So these are great for recording guitars at home because I don't have to piss off the neighbors. And I have, all my British tones right there. And then I have my Fender clean, sort of broken up tubey thing right here as well. And it's not too loud and I can still drive it. So I'll go to the studio when I want to use my Orange or my High Watt or any of my loud amps, but this is a great guitar rig for the house. I think that is pretty much everything. I haven't talked this much in weeks. Valley People Dynamite, I have that on a aux send as well for parallel compression or smashing things. Oh, how could I forget? Helios EQs, occupying the open 500 slots on the box here. I love those things to death. I actually got to go talk to those guys at NAMM the other day. They're really, really sweet people. Enjoyed hanging out with them. The drums. Let's talk about this for a second. So, since this is a home bedroom studio, I'm not going to put 10 mics on this thing. It's also a kick, snare, hi-hat, and a ride. Like, this is not when I'm doing big rock drums or something. I'm going to go to the studio. But when I'm here and I'm doing demos or, some of my weirdo music, I don't need a bunch of mics, and I actually prefer it that way. I can throw this thing overhead or put it in front of the kit as a room mic. But mainly, I got this 4038 kind of in a knee position. This is not exactly where it's going to go, but I moved it the other day. Let's try some stuff out. But yeah, just one mic on the drums in here just to get the kind of a good picture of the kit and, compress it a little bit, kind of get that cool pocket sort of dead sound. But I love the way that kit sounds. I can use 1 to 3 mics on it, and I'm super happy with it. Combining it with drum machines is always a fun thing too. I think that's going to do it. If y'all have any questions on anything I might have left out on how I rigged all of this up, or if you need help with your setup, or hell, if you want to send me a song to mix, if you want to collaborate, if you're here in Nashville and you want to come record with me at my actual studio up at Schematic, leave me a comment, send me a message. I'd love to interact with you, and I hope this was informative in some way and helped give you an idea of how to set things up in your studio. Feel free to reach out, guys. I hope you're having a great 2025 so far, and go make some music now.